As always, don't forget to check the video description down below for the best prices on the parts and tools we use in today's project. Today we're working on this 2011 Volkswagen Jetta with the 2.5. We're doing the rear drums. Let's check it out. A quick little note before we get started, we'll go ahead and raise the vehicle. When you adjust the wheel at the end, when you adjust your brakes, you're going to want to be able to have this thing lifted and spin it, and it just spin one time. So here we can see this is definitely out of adjustment because it just keeps spinning and spinning. So, but once we adjust the shoes, you just kind of maybe wipe a spot there and then watch this thing go around one time. That's how you'll know it's adjusted correctly. Okay, y'all, and the first thing we're gonna do, go ahead and lift the vehicle. That's a great spot to lift it so we can get both tires up off the ground. And then we're gonna come on over, and we have these little black caps that are blocking the wheel. If you look close, you might think, oh man, that's the fastener I gotta use to take this thing off. But we're gonna go ahead, pop it out, and it's a 17 millimeter. I'll do that with all of them. But today we got this super awesome Milwaukee impact. Makes this stuff a breeze with our 17. Just comes right out. So we'll take this wheel off and see what's next. Okay guys, and first thing, we got this wheel off. You got a T30 sitting right here holding it in there. So we got our amazing Milwaukee 3/8 ratchet. It's gonna make things a lot quicker. Go ahead and pull that off. If it is stuck on here, make sure your e-brake is not applied. This one just seemed to pull right off. If you do have trouble, you can search Fixbook drum removal and it'll pull up like a video showing you how to remove hard drums. But for the most part, you can just take a hammer and kind of tap around the edges on the outside, and that'll help pop it off. Next thing we're gonna do is we got this spring right here. So we're gonna take a pair of dikes, and these side cutters, a lot of people are like, oh man, it's gonna cut my spring. You're never gonna cut the spring with this thing, but it gives you a really great grip. So we're gonna go ahead, grab onto this thing, and then we're gonna pull, and then we're gonna let that spring off. I'm gonna grab this one, and just kind of set him off. And then what we do next, hold down springs. Yep. We're gonna come up here, we're gonna push and twist. They make a tool for this, but I've always just like using the dikes for it.
It does help if you put your finger on the back of it.
Yeah. Alright, so I repositioned myself so you can see I'm holding on the other side and I'm twisting. So I'm gonna take my dikes, turn, twist, and it'll pop out like that. And then we're gonna do the same thing for the other side. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and try and work this thing off. Let's see. Just like that. And then we have, this is like your e-brake cable. You're gonna pull up on this spring. Oh, well, that's one way to do it. But the way this works is a lot of times you're gonna take like a pair of dikes like this, and you're gonna squeeze and pull, and then you'll work the new one in. That's how you work with this cable. Okay, y'all, we struggled with this for a minute, so we just want to make sure you see exactly what's going on. This one obviously has came down from here, so that's supposed to be up there, but you want to see exactly how all this works. That's what it looks like from the back side. Again, this is the driver's side. And it's a really good idea to take a picture of everything before you get started. And we usually just take a picture of all the front, but this one it's important to see the back as well. So now let's take a look at what's the other side? The passenger side. So this is the passenger side. This is what your front's gonna look like with the passenger side. Here, focus camera, let's hit it. There you go, now we'll stay focused. All right, front side looks like this, back side looks like this. So you can just note that, and that should help. So now you're gonna see what it looks like to transfer. This could take a minute. Hopefully we don't have to pause a whole lot. So this just kind of fell off. So we'll set that off to the side. And then this thing, I'm just gonna grab it and Oh, I forgot the adjuster. So this thing's adjusted all the way like that. We can, if we push this thing up, maybe tap it. There we go. All right, so now there's gonna be less tension, so it'll be a little bit easier. I'm gonna grab this thing. And just like that, we're gonna take that off. And now we'll transfer everything to the other side. So, pop out, you little bugger. There we go. And we'll try and keep it together. Just like that. Then we got our new one, which is just like that. And then we'll go ahead, pop that thing in, hook it right in there, and then we're gonna run that all the way to the top again because that gives us more room. And then I just gotta snap this right back. This is why we wear gloves. I call them hand helmets. And see, the amount of force I had to put on that, if you're using like needle nose pliers, you're not gonna be able to grab onto it how hard I grabbed on with these side cutters. So now that's back on. Now we'll get this thing goes on something like this. And where's our little spring? The spring, I don't remember how it goes. Okay, so it goes back here. You just stick it in like that. Oh, right like that. And then we're gonna somehow stick this on here. Alright, you can pause it. Okay, so what I did is I lifted this up. Now I stick it in there, and then this thing slides down, and it just fits in there really nice. Alright, so we finally figured this out. Alright, so now we're going to take this right in there, and then it's going to come across right here, and it's going to hook on right there. So we're just going to take our side cutters, and might have to position this in a good way. Alright, so everything looks good. So gotta get into the gym. There we go. Then you just take your little things and pop. So now that's on there. So we are ready to go ahead and put this thing back on. Go. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set this cable on this piece. And so what I do is I pull, and then again, we're not gonna cut this cable, but we're gonna hold it. So that way we can come in here, and it's gonna be coming, this is gonna be hard to catch on camera, but we're coming around like that. And then we've got our cable hooked up. So now we're gonna come around, squeeze it in there, and gonna get these. We don't want to push these little pistons out, so gonna work them back up in there. And now we got them set back up in there. So now just gotta put the rest of our springs on. We're almost home. Okay guys, so we struggled with it for a little bit, but we found the best way to put everything back together is to put everything back on except this spring right here. And then you can adjust this little piece. So leave this spring off, and then make sure this is all the way down, because if it's all the way up, the brake is adjusted as loose as it can be. If you pull this piece all the way down, like you see it sitting right now, that is all the way expanded and tight. So then once you've got that, then this was the best position. We had everything put back together except this spring. This is the best position to be able to get this spring from here to here. You can see, where's the side cutters? Basically took my side cutters, we'll just pretend these are side cutters, and I grabbed it right there and swing the camera around a little bit. You can see where we fought it, and you can see like the little scrapes. You can see little scrapes right in there, but you're just gonna grab and then you're gonna swing them. Here, I got it. We'll swing them right into that hole right there. So you're gonna be grabbing on this side with your side cutters, and you're gonna pull it on the other side. And I kind of held with my left hand, and then took my thumb and pushed my tool and hand like this and helped bring it in. So that was the hardest part of it, is just making sure you got your adjuster all the way down, and then when you go to put your drum back on, it's gonna be a little tight. And for this one, earlier I was saying it should have one spin, but we've got this one about expanded all the way out, and it's not doing the one spin thing. That's what it's like for most cars on most drum brakes. But we're gonna put everything back together, pump the brakes up, spin it, see if it's tight.